Now, talking Tottenham, of course, Harry Redknapp favourite to become the next England manager, right? Now, I'm talking to people at the FA who are indicating that the £6 million a year salary, which Fabio Capello picks up at the moment, may be cut by as much as 50% for the next England manager. I would heartily endorse that. I think that ludicrous to pay a man £120,000 a week to do a job which involves probably 10 games a year. Now, to put this into perspective, when I was at the FA in the mid-90s and Terry Venables was the manager, I remember having a conversation with Terry and he was getting £120,000 a year. Now, OK, the inflation's taken place and football finances have been revolutionised, but it's just, I mean, he's the highest paid football manager in the world. The highest paid football manager in the world should be the man who's in charge of a team that world and European champions. Cup, So why have we got it so badly out of sync in this country?
Well, I think it was one of those things, we knew we had to get somebody in and we thought, well, we've got nobody in England that we can give the job to. So they had to go for somebody they felt there was. And Capello's credentials, you know, being a winner, everywhere he'd been and what he's done, seemed the right person. And that was his feat. He said, if I'm going to go and do this, this is what you've got to pay me. And they paid it, and that's why they did it. But quite rightly so, cut the fee, because then it's about doing the job rather than just taking all this money. Yeah,
but business-wise, that's going to be difficult, isn't it? Because if a new man comes in, let's say it's not Harry Redknapp, say who it is, you come in and you say, right, well, the last chap was paid X amount of money, he didn't win you anything. If you want to give me the incentive to actually better his performance, you give me at least his money, if not more. I mean, that's the way negotiations work.
No, this whole thing has been mismanaged back to Sven-Göran Eriksson times, and when it became more of a financial reward rather than a pride of leading your country.
Exactly.
And that's why I think that even if you offered £1 million a year or £1.5 million a year to any Englishman, they would take it, and given them a £3 or $4 million bonus if they brought home one of the major trophies.
That's important. That's the crucial bit, because you know what it is. You pay somebody a salary, and the salary's good. Let's face it. If you get £1 million a year, that's good. But then
that's not good. That is magnificent.
I'm talking comparison to what's being paid now. Yeah, and then you think per year, depending on the games you do, if you've achieved this by the end of each year, your bonus will be X.
Right.
And if you don't achieve that, then it will be Y.
I still don't believe that.
And that's how it should be.
I still don't believe that actually managing the England setup comes down to finances at any stage.
Well, it doesn't. But the man who's in the position at the moment. For him to decide I'm going to come over there and manage this team, he said, my fee for doing this, like any businessman would say, I'm going to go and do this job for you. This is what he's done.
Yeah,
he says,
but that's
my
because he's not English.
That's my fee.
You made the very point. Well, perhaps you did. Any Englishman would take the job for £1 million a year. Of course he would.
Yeah. But would they knowing that the press would be jumping all over them at anything? Because that would always be the thing it will come down to, as you well know, Mike.
Don't shoot the messenger.
I'm not shooting the messenger, son.
We're messengers, and what I'm saying is this: if you don't understand it's the highest profile job in this country,
I think everybody knows
then you shouldn't take the job.
In world football, it's one of the biggest jobs in world football.
You know as well as I do, the way to stop the press from climbing on your back is to win football matches.
Well, that's the case at any level. It's that case at any that level. But we all know, and we've seen it with the England team, England promise an awful lot and deliver very little.
Well, it's up to a manager to get hold of the team
and it's how we can turn that around.
See, I would like them both to coincide with a complete English manager with young English players who are hungry to go and deliver.
Which we seem to have coming along now, like you'd Phil Jones and people like that.
Oh, there's loads of them.
Because let's face it, I mean, people go, I agree that you should have an English manager, but more than that, I agree that it should be the right man for the job, regardless of where they're from. Because we're called...
Sorry, what do you mean by that? Regardless of where they're English?
No, what I'm saying is... No, I'm saying is, I agree with you that people say, yes, you should have English managers do that. But we live in an environment where we say this is the world environment we live in, but the sport, and it should be the best person then available for that job.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah? I'll tell you why I don't fully agree with that. I remember when Kevin Keegan left, right, and the thing was Kevin left under such a cloud because he sort of stormed off after the Germany game, last game at Wembley, and threw his toys out the pram. No, they thought we got to get rid of that. And I remember asking the guys at the time, it was David Davis was around as head of communications and Adam Crozier was, and I remember asking them, and they said, no, we're not going to talk about the national team, the best man for the job. But I think one of the qualifications for being the best man for the job is to be English.
Yeah, of course.
Because then you've got an accord with your players and with the fans and with the establishment and with the country.
Yes,
and you're always going to be isolated if you're anything other than English, I think.
Well, then we start to go back into this thing. There's a racial thing start to come into it then, and if you start to do that. But for me, why I say it should be the best man for the job, and you shouldn't be looking at their national anything. It should be, if you're good enough for the job and you've proven that this is what you're good at, it shouldn't matter where you're from.
Yeah. Well, we've taken 2 foreign managers. Neither of them actually brought the bacon home yet. So,
Exactly.
you know,
But again, who actually decides on who's good enough?
Exactly. I mean, the thing's that's got to be more. It's got to be a more transparent procedure of the way they go about choosing that man who's going to be the manager. And then, then when you put the manager in position, then you've got to give him the support and everything that he needs. That means all the clubs and everybody supporting that manager so he can achieve something. Because he's an England manager.
Which you're never going to get.
Totally agree with that.